The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
This is Africa Diaspora Connect.
Join us as we take the journey from the motherland to America.
We share our experiences and learn from them.
Here is our host, Kibathi and
Ho, 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 ho. It's that time of the year. It is that season. What do we call it? Is it Father Christmas in that hemisphere we call back home? It's Santa season over here. And in some of us, it's that Kwanzaa period that's approaching. Needless to say, it's festive all day long for the remainder of this month. This is our Christmas special. We are now 5 months young. Imagine that, Ben. 5 months. 5 months. We're there. It's our first Christmas. And let me tell you, I am so excited. And yes, this one is going to be another journey. This is going to be another journey that we're going to just take to the motherland. And this one is going to be a touchy, sensitive, pervasive issue that needs to be addressed, that is being addressed to some extent. And I'm going to start with my little intro here before I introduce my magnanimous guests, my brother from another mother in a second, that I will. So it's estimated that in the near future, the homeless population in Kenya will rise by over 200,000 people per year. All right. So of the 2 million Kenyans without proper shelter, about 50% comprise of children. This leaves over 1 million citizens in Kenya without the opportunity to find a home, with a population where 68% of the population do not even own a parcel of land. Kenya's capital, Nairobi, has more than 40 areas defined as slums, and approximately 60% of Nairobi's population, of about 4.4 million, live in low-income settlements. There are many viral infections that cause health problems in these low-income settlement environments. So today's journey will be one for the ages. That of a man on a mission to rid that city of Nairobi of this scourge of homelessness. A dynamic, fun-filled, and creative teacher with a mentoring and writing career spanning 3 decades in local and international curriculum. And he's referred to as OD Joe. That's his street slang name. His creds, OD Joe. Education is at the heart of everything he dreams of. Cliff believes that students dropping out of school because of school fees and ending up in petty crime and taken to jail should not be something a teacher is proud of in this 21st century. Standing at 6'6", he believes in very tall standards. Author of the Eastlander series of books and comprehensive mathematics, whatever the hell that is, you'll let us know. Playwright, author, teacher, and a fellow high school classmate of mine. Welcome to my favorite goalkeeper whose back I kept on that pitch, Mr. Clifford Oluoch, a.k.a. Odijo. What is? Welcome, brother. And that's his signature, the hand.
Wow, man. Can you repeat that again? Whatever you said about me, I've never heard that.
That's all you.
This was a eulogy you're reading, man.
That is all you, my man. That is all you, man. Man, we go back to 1981. 1981. Do the math. There we were, straggling, lean, 13-year-olds. And look at us, middle-aged men. Some with hair, some without. You know, that is what it is. But he was always 6'6". Ever since we were 13, he was still 6'6". He was a towering inferno. Cliff, karibu bwana. Karibu to Studio 21.
Thank you very much, Chris. I'm honored to be here.
Nah, man, this journey.
Thanks for having me.
Man, this journey of yours, man. I mean, first and foremost, I'd like to give credits to this app called WhatsApp. This thing called WhatsApp, if it wasn't for WhatsApp, you and I wouldn't be having this. Social media has really, I mean, I'm not big on Facebook. whatever the case. But there's something about WhatsApp, especially for reunions. And man, this thing has brought to light so much and really got to understand your journey. So, man, give it up to all our high school alumni, Strathmore. You know each other, man. You know, school of old. That's us right there, brother. Man, let's talk about your journey. We're all about journeys here, Cliff. Your journey
Yes.
is one for the ages. You've watched a few of my shows. I'll let you start, and you're going to tell us how you got to where you are. You know, you're going to talk about your career in education that you are right now. You're a principal of an amazing institution that you're going to introduce. But it's your affliction, your desire, your love for children, and that desire to see them matriculate in something of value. Tell us your journey, my brother, and welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. Before telling you about the journey, let me tell you about the destination.
All
so
right.
then I'll go backwards.
Okay,
right?
Okay.
So where we are at in the year 2020, and what are we doing, you know, kind of. So right now, professionally, I am a teacher, or humbly, I am a head teacher.
There we go.
Of Premier Academy, which is an international school.
Premier Academy.
School offering international curriculum.
Yep.
Prep school, 600 kids. So that's one. Two, I run this outfit called Homeless of Nairobi, which is registered under Odijo Foundation.
I see that.
Okay.
I see that.
And Homeless of Nairobi has got various programs. One is daily feeding of street families, 100 of them, daily feeding, right? So get that right.
Yep.
We have an orphanage or a children's home, which deals with rescued street kids. Then you have several programs in the slums.
Okay.
And economic empowerment. That's what we have gone into. So we've got a dressmaking school that we just started the other day. We've got an eatery or a restaurant, you know, just within the slums. They call it a hotel. Okay. In the slums, they call it a hotel.
All right, got
So
it.
we have an eatery which cooks and sells food. We have an entertainment center which beams all these EPL matches, English Premier League, which is very, very popular.
All right, yeah.
And then now we want to start a cyber cafe that is going to help us. All this is just to help us in the economic development. And then we have a program called Work Placement for Rescued Street Boys who don't want to go to the children's home. So here we have almost 10 guys who are now rescued, rehabilitated, and are now back to the society and are working and are earning, and some of them are proud family people. So that is a destination. That's where we are at now.
Got it.
If you go back, then where did we start? And I think, as Chris has rightfully said, it started with seeing all these kids off the streets. And they ask you for 5 shillings, 5 Kenya shillings, 10 shillings, you know, kind of, or buy for me this, buy for me that. And being a teacher, it actually bothers you that these kids are out of school. And fine, so you procrastinate and say, one day I will do something. If I hit a jackpot, I'll buy land, I will start all these mega things, I'll start soup kitchens all over Nairobi and whatever kind of thing. But life is like that. You just don't hit a jackpot. You know,
You don't.
So 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and then you realize that the boy that you've been maybe giving some money here and there is actually almost your height. It's like, where has time gone to?
He's grown.
This guy has been off.
He's grown.
I said, no, I need to do something more than that. And one day, just by a stroke of luck, I started the feeding program right in the middle of Westlands with a cob of maize and 20 street boys who I found haggling over a cob of maize. They wanted to buy it, and it was going for 20 Kenya shillings, and they only had 10 Kenyan shillings. And this lady was like, no, I can't sell half a cob of maize. I can only sell a full one. And I told her, it's okay. I'll buy 2, 1 for each. So I gave her 40 bob, Kenyan shillings, and each of them got, and they disappeared only to come back with 5 more. Well, luckily is that I had money, and I bought each of them. Again, they disappeared to come back with 15. So eventually, there ended up being 20 of them, and I fed them. And then one of them asked me a question. Utarudi kesho.
You're coming back
you
tomorrow.
Come back. And that thing hit me, you know, kind of.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, internally, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I just blurted out, of course, nitakuja, I'll come.
I'll be there.
And the following day, I had to be there at the same time. And this time, there were not 20 of them, there were 40 of them. And again, the same procedure continued.
Yeah.
But I realized that most of them have got very poor dental structures. Their teeth are very weak.
Okay.
And the maze and the cob was actually hurting them rather than.
Understood.
So I said, okay, fine. Why don't we try bread, right? Bread and milk.
Uh-huh.
And that is what I fed them for the next 1 year. The feeding program was based on just giving them bread and milk.
You're going back every day?
Sorry?
You were going back every day?
Yes, every single day. It has been a daily thing.
Yeah.
And after 3-4 days, one of the boys called Billy told me, we've seen people come and go. They just come and take photos and then they disappear, right? I think you're just one of those guys who are here to make a name or to whatever kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, fine, let's see how it goes. Another challenge, basically, because they're used to being left. They're used to being dropped. They're used to being disappointed.
Abandoned.
They're used to people walking out of their lives.
People come in and commercialize them, kind of commercialize them and then just walk away.
Exactly. But more than that, also, almost all these kids come from single parenthood, which is single mothers. So again, they don't know who their fathers are. So they're used to people walking, the men walking away and out of their lives, kind of. So here is another man. Yeah. Okay. Will you also be like one of them and walk away? And I said, no. He laughed. After 1 week, he said, wow, you guys, man, you've tried. Nobody has ever hit a week over here. After 2 weeks, he told me, Allah, Wendy, you're still here. You're not going. I told him, no, I'm not going. After 1 month, he told me, okay, I think there's something special, kind of. I think this is much more. What do you have out of it? What are you trying to get out of it? He asked me. And this is a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I told him the same thing you're trying to get out of it.
Trying to get what's in it for you? What's in it for you?
Exactly. So I'm trying to get meaning into your lives or your lack of progression in life. I'm trying to understand you guys. I can't. And I need time to understand why a 14-year-old prefers to sleep on the streets and has got a parent or a guardian in the slums. Yeah. Why? Why would you prefer the streets? The alleys in the streets are cold, they're dangerous, they're dirty, everything. Why would you prefer to sleep there? Kind of. And yet you have, the home is not cozy. It's a 1-room 10 by 10 or 8 by 8 shared by siblings. So when they hit puberty and teenagehood, the boys kind of rebel. They cannot sleep in the same room with their mothers. And some of them, the mothers bring multiple partners. So they get into this conflict, kind of. And the best thing is that they run away and they go. But the worst thing is that quite a number of them have run away from school, dropped out of school. And I'm like, okay, you, Billy, you're such an intelligent boy. Yeah. You reached standard 7. Yeah. Why didn't you just complete standard 8? So you didn't find meaning in school. I'm trying to find out why you didn't find meaning. That's why I'm here. Yeah. And it's annoying me that I can't find the solution or the answer to this problem. Why I have 10-year-old boys in the streets and why I have 50-year-old men who have been there 20, 30 years, kind of. I didn't understand it. And I was just not going to walk away until I understood it. So I started with the most basic of understanding. Yes. Is, can I feed you on a daily basis?
Wow.
You guaranteed 1 meal. 1 meal.
1 meal.
So for the last 6 years, since November 2014, I've been feeding them on a daily basis. The transformation has taken place. It's not the same group. There's some who have stayed, have refused all manner of rehabilitation. Yeah. They've gone to rehab, they've relapsed, they've gone back to rehab, they've relapsed again, kind of until they've said, no, just leave us alone. There's some who have said, no, we're not going into rehab. The street is our home. We're here to stay. I said, okay, I respect your decision. The only thing allow me to do is to feed you once a day. Allow me to bring this meal just once a day. Then we can actually form.
So irrespective of the fact that rehab is not working for them, you still want to be involved. You still want to be somewhere.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yes. But rehab is not working for them because we don't have structured post-rehab programs.
Understood.
So when they come from rehab, the only thing they know is their old life, kind of. So now again, another challenge which has come out and we didn't know. What can we do post-rehab? Once you come out of rehab, right? Do we have a plan for you? right? And that's what we have done. And that's why we have gone into all these manners of job placement. We have like 3, 4, 5 firms that have agreed to take in the boys and train them on the job and pay them something small, kind of. So when you come from rehab, you don't go back to your old life.
Understood.
So why am I still doing this? It's that I need to get that solution, right?
Yeah.
To why you are still on the streets, or once you get out of the streets, okay?
Yeah.
What kind of a person are you going to be? And what kind of an example are you going to be to all these guys who are on the streets? So back to where we are. So number 1 is the daily feeding program. Now that has changed. We no longer give them bread and milk, which we used to do. Now we cook. We have got a kitchen in the slums, deep sea slums in high-rich parklands.
Yeah.
We have a kitchen. The kitchen is manned by 10 rescued street boys.
I think I met them, right? I think I met them.
They're actually men.
Yeah, I met them. I think, was that the place we were together? Was that them?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a place we are together, right?
Yeah.
We visited.
Yeah.
The same place. Now we expanded it and we've got a kitchen.
Okay.
And they cook on a daily basis. So they wake up in the morning, they cook their own breakfasts, the 10 guys, so that they can have a meal. Then from 8 o'clock to around 12, they cook the meal for the 100 people. Right, so we have a menu. We basically do ugali. Ugali is filling, though they don't like it. I don't know why. It's associated with mahaslas and masafa.
Okay.
These guys want fancy things like chapati and rice.
Oh, and shrimp. And shrimp. Huh?
It doesn't stick in your stomach. But anyway, so we have ugali twice a week.
Yeah.
Rice twice a week, and then chapati once a week. Right?
Yeah.
So the guys cook, they pack the food, we transport the food to the base where the guys are. And of the 100, okay, let me be honest, they're not 100. Huh? These guys, like today, they are 150. Okay?
It varies.
So it's a nightmare for us. It's a nightmare for us, but we have said we're going to cap it at 100. So we have divided the 100 into 2 groups. The street guys, the guys who have been on the streets forever and are not going to get out and cannot, should I say, feed themselves, cannot cook for themselves. So those ones are about 70, 80 of them.
Okay.
So we put them on the front line. They're the frontliners. Or then the backbenchers are the irregular guys, the guys who, number 1, we have refugees who have all of a sudden appeared because they've realized that there's somewhere where they can get food every day. So now we have about 40 refugees who have joined us. COVID has hit men hard. So we have guys who have lost their jobs, right? And they just walk around looking for any job. And they end up at the feeding place. And the guy tells you, listen, I don't really need food. What I want is a job. I told them, listen, they're not jobs. I mean, no one is hiring anywhere. All that I can offer is job placement and training. But it has to be for the street guys. So we have all these hustlers who can't afford food, don't have a meal. And the most moving thing is that some of these men will take the food and not eat it.
For the kids?
So they'll take it home to the kids.
Yeah.
So the guy will okay, can you please give me another one? And I'm like, I can't. So there are 1 or 2 of them who have ended up bringing their kids. And the guys told me, Cliff, this is embarrassing. I don't want my son to see this side that I can't feed the family. I'll tell him, but I can't do anything because my mission, right, is to feed the street guys. I'm not going to veer off that. I can't go, okay, I've veered, let me be honest. I've really veered off because almost 10 of these guys have come and said, we have not paid rent for the last 3 months. We have not paid rent. And you know how much rent is? 1,500 Kenyan shillings. So the guy has not paid rent, and 3 months later or 4 months down the line, been threatened with eviction.
Yeah.
Well, okay, fine. Give me the landlord's number. Let me talk to him. So you talk to the landlord and says, "This Cliff, I'm also struggling as a landlord. I need money."
It makes sense, yeah.
Right? I can throw them out. So what I've agreed is that if you have that kind of a problem, I'll pay half the rent. Or half whatever you owe. Okay? So a guy, 3 months is not paid, that's 4,500. Is like, fine, let me pay 3,000. So this we have done for like almost 10 men, kind of. But it's not a solution because the guy has no job, kind of. So many restaurants close down, so they're cooks, they're
Cliff, let me ask you this though, man. How do you juggle this? Okay, you have your premiere, your 9 to 5, all right? And
Yes.
you have this lifestyle that you are Mother Teresa 2.0, and you're also a husband and you're a father. They're only 24 hours a day. How do you pull this off, man? I mean, how the hell do you pull this off?
Okay, I have to be honest that there's a team behind all this. I'm not working alone.
Let me hear about the team.
I'm actually the guy with the begging bowl.
Okay,
I'm the guy who goes around fundraising because I've got a network.
Understood. Okay.
But the chief operation behind, there's a team.
Okay.
Right? At the children's home, there's a house mother who takes care of the kids.
Understood.
And make sure, for me, is to look for the school fees.
Understood.
At the kitchen in deep sea slums and the feeding, right? We have a man who's in charge of the 10 street boys and makes sure that things are cooked. Me is to go back again and fundraise and find out where are all these things. And same thing, there's a team, kind of.
But that means there's a payroll. That means there's a payroll.
Yes, there's a payroll.
There's a payroll.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we don't have a huge payroll. I was coming to the volunteers. We have a huge volunteer base.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the clarity.
Okay. We have guys who have given up their time and they come and they work with the kids. COVID has helped a lot because being the head teacher, we have a lot of this, we have online classes, virtual classes.
Understood.
So that means that at lunchtime, I can leave the school.
Yeah.
Before COVID, I could not leave the school because it's lunchtime. And as a head teacher, you're actually on duty from the time you come in to the time you leave.
That makes sense.
And that's like not even 8 to 5, kind of. It's actually sometimes 7 to 7.
Yeah.
Because the last kid is picked at 7 o'clock.
First in, last out, last one out. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Kind of, right?
Yeah.
So that only left Saturday and Sunday. But I have to give credit to the team. And I cannot function without them. They are the ones who, should I say what? The ones who push the gears, the ones who roll everything. And they're the ones who get dirty with the kids. Then they give me feedback. Oh, sorry. We also have a counselor. We have a therapist.
Okay.
Who does it pro bono. Comes there once a week, every Friday.
Understood.
Right. And then he gives me feedback. And then if we need further intervention, then we go ahead with it. So there's a team. Let me not say this is not
I'm glad. I'm glad we're having this discussion. The other thing is this, though.
Yes.
Why is it you're only targeting boys? Why is that? I'm throwing that at you.
I mean, that's not...
I'm just throwing it out, man. You know me, I was always tough.
I've asked that question many times.
Yeah.
Now, let me talk about the boys and then I'll talk about the girls.
All right, so.
The street boy is a free spirit. He can move from any base to any base, right? And almost be accepted without any problem, kind of, right?
Understood.
So they're more, should I say, they're more noticeable. They're all over, right? The street girl is domesticated.
Okay.
They have a circumference that they can operate within. That circumference is determined by the warlord or the base commander, right? Who kind of owns them.
Okay.
Right? Because they give them protection against any other person. So they're affiliated both sexually and emotionally to this particular person.
That's a pimp.
So they can't.
That's a pimp.
Exactly. Yes. So I mean, like when I talk to a street boy, I talk to them eye to eye. There's eye contact.
Understood.
The moment I meet a street girl, they're always looking behind, kind of as in who's going to tell on her, who's watching or whatever kind of thing. So they don't have the same freedom as the street boys. So it's easier to work with the street boys. However, we have a group of all these people who work with vulnerable groups, and we have agreed, right? So the people who take care of the street girls or the gender-based violence cases and whatever kind. So we refer them to this particular groups, right? Now, if I take good care of the street boys and I rehabilitate them, then we'll have fewer street girls. We'll have more responsible men, right? Because all these boys that I'm taking care of, there's no men in their life. I don't want them to turn up like that.
Understand.
And I don't want their sisters to turn out like that. So my mission is like I sort out the man, okay, and the man takes charge of the homestead.
Wow.
And I have stable homesteads. We've gone back to the family. It's not that we don't go back to the families.
Yeah.
We have a partnership with other rehabilitation centers like Mwangaza and Undugu, right? Which trace the family of these kids. Some of them up to Kisii, up to Kakamega, up to Meru. They've traced the families and they've tried to reintegrate the boys back to the families. It's a slow process. It's like a 30-40% success rate, but somehow some of them have ended up going back after the rehab, right? So if I believe that if you strengthen the spine of the man, they'll take care of the woman.
Understood.
Kind of.
Okay.
Whereas if you strengthen the woman, they can still be destroyed by the man.
Wow.
Because a wounded man is more dangerous than a wounded woman. That's my belief.
Okay.
Right? So let me focus on these boys. Let me focus on these men. Let them go back and support their women and make sure that the women are actually taken care of.
That said, there are women who say they are the cradle of civilization. They'll say that they are at the forefront of this journey. And
I agree.
So,
all it takes is just an abusive man to destroy them.
Understood.
I think a man can withstand. The chances of a man standing an abusive woman is actually higher than the chances of a woman standing an abusive man.
Okay.
So the women they are the foundation. They are everything. If they get a supportive man, they can do 10 times, 20 times what a man can do.
So now let me ask.
If they get an abusive man, they're finished.
So point taken. Now knowing all the issues that Nairobi has to offer with the corruption, the system of government that doesn't work, I'm thinking about the rates of crime in these infested areas that are there. I'm talking about maybe things like childhood pregnancies that you have to endure. I mean, this almost sounds like a futile attempt here. Like, how do there's no system out there to even work with you, and you deal with these things, diseases, you're dealing with COVID right now and mortality rates. I mean, I'm sure you've buried several of them. I'm sure you have. I'm sure you've seen them go to jail. How do you cope with these things, Cliff?
Oof, okay. Should I flip that and say that the 20-30% success rates override the 70% failure? Because it's the same thing, right? To see someone who's been on the streets for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, make a turnaround, and become responsible, and agree to change, and goes and gets an identity card, and gets a job, and keeps the job for a year, right? And when you ask him, what's your ambition? And the guy says, I want to come back and make sure that I get another person like me. So the success rates, the joy that you get from that overrides whatever. But on the other hand, I'm not going to turn a blind eye on what you have said about the county government. We have engaged them. We're in the process of engaging them, right? Because we want a partnership. The work that we're doing ideally is their work. It's not ours. But because of the failure system, then all these private entities have actually cropped up. So we are engaging them so that they can actually strengthen their facilities. It's a futile attempt, but yes, we have to try, because a strong government will ensure that our work is much easier. It will be easier to work with a government institution. So here is our plan to them. Is like, listen, you've got all these children's homes that are run by the government. Why don't you lease them to us? Because you've got the facilities, right? And you've got corporates who just want to work with government. They don't want to work with private entities like us. So let's have a halfway, right? A 50-50. We come in and we'll do all the logistics, we'll do all the fundraising and all that. We'll pay the staff, or you can pay the staff from your national or whatever, but allow us to help you to run the institutions. So that conversation is ongoing. The biggest problem we have is actually the political landscape. Because I would say every 5 years, it's almost like every 2 years, we are on a campaign mode. So the politicians don't pay attention to the issues, So you only have like a 2-year window period. 1 year after they're elected, and then 2 years before election. But those 2 years, and we target. We've tried.
Understood.
And we won't stop trying, because I think that if we rope in the government, then we're like 50, 60% have won the battle with all these guys.
Wow. Now, let me ask you, as we go on this, you are a dime a dozen, a term we coined this way, meaning that every person is doing exactly what you're trying to propagate. How do people know who to trust, Cliff? Okay, because everyone has a foundation, all right? And everyone is going out there to help someone who, I mean, we're in a third world country. There are a lot of these issues out there. How do you, yourself, with your foundation, Homelessness of Nairobi, what do you do differently so that it's all about trust? It's all about knowing that my money is going to the right place. Okay,
Yes.
and everyone is spread very thin. Tell me about what you're doing different, or how people can be able to know that, you know what, I think this is a real deal. I think my dollar here, I think my shilling here will go towards a worthy cause.
Good question. One of the things that we insist on is that, especially the guys who are in Kenya or in Nairobi, right? If you send me money, I will call you. Right? And I will tell you, come and see where your money is going. I insist. I'm telling you, the number of people who have come and seen where the money is going, not only do they continue giving us money, but they rope in more of their friends. Right? They bring them in.
I'm one of those, but there are many more who will never be able to come over, who would want to give. I have exactly. Like, you know, there's so many. I'm talking about them.
So you're talking about them.
They will never come. They will never be around. They will never make it out there. I have. You're my brother. We've grown up together. But there's so many other people out there who like to give.
But I mean, there are many people who will take your word, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris says yes.
True.
I mean, around you, I have like 100 people who will say, Chris has said yes. It's the same thing with me. And people forget about my charity.
Yeah.
Other charities, people call me and ask me, Cliff, these guys have asked me for ABCD. Do you know them? Are they trustworthy?
Yeah.
You know, kind of. And it's a weighty question, because half of the foundations I don't know. I tell them, no, that one I don't know, so I'm not going to commit myself.
Understood.
But the moment I say that one is okay, the funds straight away, they go to the. So one is actually to build a good name, right? And one of the things that we have done is not only to invite the people, but we have used the power of storytelling.
Understood.
We tell the stories of success. We tell the stories of our people on social media, and people actually associate the stories with us.
Yeah.
It's a subtle way of fundraising. I don't ask for funds directly.
Understood.
I'll tell you the story of the, and then I ask you, if you want to sponsor another one, kindly get in touch, whatever kind of thing. So the power of storytelling, which again goes back to my writing career.
That's you.
You know, kind of. So it has helped a lot.
Yeah.
And the initial stages, right? That's all that we did. We just told stories. You'll be shocked by the number of people who got in touch with us internationally. And I've never forgotten one guy from the UK who said, I've been sending money to all these organizations, and they use 70% of them on administration. I would rather send money to someone who is on the ground.
Point taken. 100.
And the first time, I mean, like, someone sent me 100,000 Kenyan shillings. He doesn't know me, right? He's never met me. But you know what? When the BBC ran the story, because of that credibility of BBC.
Understood.
I had guys from the UK who even sent me £5.
There we go.
You know, £5, you know, kind of, right? Now, here's someone who's sending you 100,000 Kenya shillings. He doesn't know you. Why? Because BBC ran the story. And so the guys who they'll take a risk.
Yeah.
Right? And then we get back to them and we give them the feedback, or give them the report, or we carry the story of the success.
Cliff, we're going to start winding down, but before we do, man, I just want to give it up to our brotherhood, our alumni, for all the work that they do, man. I think you and I have been doing this now for 3 years. How many years? I don't know. Maybe 3 years. We've been doing this.
Yes.
About 3 years. We have 2 distinct groups. On behalf of all of them, man, we just want to let you know, man, we look up to you. You're credible. You're one of us. And Cliff, man, there's no one like you. So on behalf of your classmates, me being the head boy, we know that joke for another day. We want to thank you for all and everything that you do. And this morning when you woke up, I know I had a little present for you. That's from my little team of guys here. As you know ourselves, we're trying to build ourselves. Africa Diaspora Connects. I'm assuming it hit your M-Pesa safely. I hope it did. Ilingia, Santa man, Ilingia. You know what I'm saying? And that's in it. So listen, man. I dedicate this episode, Cliff, actually, to my mother and the Odijos of the world, and we've had this discussion. I mean, she had an intense love for underserved children and their plight for a staunch education. Miss Mary Kibathi, Mrs. Kibathi, Ngong Forest, Dorarua, St. Mary's, Karen, your legacy endures, Mom. Rest in peace. Cliff, man, thank you so much. I'm always going to be there for you. When I'm not around, sometimes when I'm silent, I still have you in mind. Because like I told you, man, my mom's spirit is in your system, brother. Thank you. God bless you. Luta continua. Let's keep this up, Cliff. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Chris, for having me, and God bless and Merry Christmas.
And you tell that guy in Northampton he owes you $250. You know who he is. Yeah, he lost the election.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you tell that guy, he knows who he is. Yeah, he lost the bet. Yeah. Asante mwambie nilisema hivyo. I had to throw him under the bus. All right, man. Ben, thank you, guys. Subscribe to this. This is a real deal, man. This is the episode. Christmas season is here. We're giving back. And guys, you know what to do. Like this and just keep sharing, man. We're doing something great. This is our 21st episode, 5 months into it. 2021 is coming, and watch this space. Africa Diaspora Connect, coming to an airwave near you. Tune.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.